Hi, I'm Pat Baer, and this is Pat Baer's Anime Club. It's an ongoing video series where I talk about something from the world of anime that I want to chat with you about. Sometimes it is looking at the season that we just had, or the season ahead, or what I do every once in a while is to do a deep dive into a topic that's just interesting to me. And that's what this one is. This is a video I didn't think I was going to make, and I didn't think I maybe needed to make, but turns out I do. We need to talk about TsumaSho. We do. I'm gonna do my best to talk about this in an honest and earnest manner. This particular anime, which is available on Crunchyroll, and I wasn't going to talk about this show. We'll go to the art image here. This is their official art image for TsumaSho. I wasn't going to talk about this particular anime, but it's being promoted on Crunchyroll. Like, they have a lot of shows, right? And they don't promote everything on their social media, on their YouTube. They're just too much for them to, promote everything. They pick and choose what they're going to promote. And this is one of the shows that they are promoting. And because of that, it has some attention. And the other reason why I want to talk about it is because it is called TsumaSho. They did not do an English translation of the title, which is the most common thing in all manner of anime, not just Crunchyroll. I'm not singling out Crunchyroll here for this because other companies do that. Traditionally, in general, you are going to go with an English translation because your target audience may like Japanese stuff, but doesn't always consistently know Japanese. Or, in this case, know the little portmanteau of the name of the actual show. Because TsumaSho is not the title in Japanese. It is just the portmanteau to make it easier if you're talking about the manga or the TV live action series or the anime. The English is English is my primary language. Japanese is not my best, so I'll struggle with this for a little bit. The actual title is Suma Shogakusei ni Naru, which the literal translation of is if my wife becomes an elementary school student. There, over here, that part. And it's not the little translation. Now, obviously, they probably would do something with the title if they were going to do a proper English translation of it. They would say something to the effect of, my wife became an elementary school student, or my wife is an elementary school student, or something to that effect. And you can understand, as I said that out loud, you can understand why they didn't go with that. Why they went with TsumaSho. Because Suma, wife, and then Shogetsu ni Naru. Why they took all that and just say TsumaSho. Because it's easier, but also because you don't know what the show is by that title. And that's on purpose because this show isn't what some people think it is, but also isn't something that I would strongly defend. And that's kind of what we're chatting about here. That's why I feel like we do need to talk about it, because you may hear in your conversation someone say, oh, well, when they're talking poorly about anime, when they decide to boil everything down and they talk in stereotypes, they may come up with the conversation topic that they have seen somewhere online. Well, there's that anime about the guy who's married to an elementary school student. That's fucking gross. Yes. In this case, it's not that. It's that this guy and his daughter had a tragic loss in an accident of the mother / wife. And then 10 years later, a 10-year-old child shows up and says, I've been reincarnated and I'm here to help because the two of you are lost in your own little world and you don't have anything going on and you need to move on. And maybe I also need to move on because why have I been reincarnated? And have I been reincarnated, or am I just possessing this child? And it's a drama. It is not a romantic comedy like some people have said it is. It is not a silly little thing where, my wife is now looks like a child and we've got to deal with that, or some weird happenstance on paper, this kid that I'm looking after has been declared my wife. It's not a screwball comedy that you would look at and go, that's weird. Why did you make that? Instead, it's a drama about moving on and processing with the magicalness of reincarnation as an element and spirits and people trying to grow and better themselves and come together. It's a manga that ended, which odd to have an anime on a manga that's not ongoing because generally anime is there to advertise the manga or light novel or whatever, but it happened in this case. There was a drama that aired that's run its course, and now we have an anime that's airing currently as I talk about this, that is airing on television in Japan, on some streaming services in Japan, and then in the United States and various other countries around the world on Crunchyroll. And so, as I said, one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is it's not a bait and switch. It's just an interesting idea that they didn't feel comfortable enough to name it "My wife became an elementary school student" or "My wife is an elementary school student." They didn't go with that. They didn't go with that. They went with SumaSho. But also, they're promoting it. It's one of the shows this season that they're like, hey, just like ReZero. You got to check out ReZero. And I'm going to do a cursory look at Crunchyroll's Twitter account, which I should have done before and didn't, but luckily I'm on the internet, so I can do that. Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. That was a big hit. Season 1 was a big hit for them, so yeah, they're promoting that. Yakuza Fiancé, they're promoting. Nina and the Starry Bride, they're promoting. So, they are talking about plenty of shows that are out right now. And of course, obviously, I'm scrolling now talking about future shows. There's a dub of From Commonplace to World's Strongest, Ari Ferreira, that they're talking about. That's coming out. But one of the shows they are chatting about on their social media is SumaSho. So it's not like it's buried. It's not like it's forgotten. It's being promoted. And that leads to people being like, well, what's this show about? And then the questions of, wait, why does this exist? And as I said, one of the other reasons why I want to talk about this is the defense that you need to have when people misunderstand the thing that you like on purpose. Often they have a predisposed opinion that anime is weird and garbage and full of inappropriate situations and crass humor and fan service and all the things that are in some anime, but not in all anime, because as we've talked about on this channel many times, anime just means animation, and there's so much to animation. There was a really fun article the other day comparing some anime to telenovelas, which, they're soap operas. Hana Yoridango is just a soap opera that happens to be anime, happens to be animated. So it's a wide spectrum, right? So many anime fans, if you're watching this video, you like anime, or me, but you probably both, or just anime, I don't know. You probably don't just like me and you're watching this video. Who knows? But you may come to this video, you haven't seen my other stuff, because you're like, I want to know more about this. Why are people mad about this show? And generally people are mad about this show because they don't know what it is. They just know the title. They just know that that's the thing going on, and they have a predisposed idea in their head, or they jump to a conclusion that this is a creepy, gross thing. And so part of the anime fan, wants to push back on that thing, wants to say, hey, actually, this is fine. This is just a melodrama about moving on, and it's just about this family trying to figure stuff out, and it actually goes beyond that and looks at, well, why is the spirit still there, and looks at the reasons behind why this thing is happening. But the other side of it is that it's not good. It's not very good. I'll be honest about it. It's not great. I have read the manga because a few of my friends were really into it and were saying, you need to check this out. And I found it to be kind of poorly written, and the characterization's not that strong, and it felt preachy in a weird way, and just not particularly great. And I have not watched a minute of this anime. I cannot tell you about the anime quality. We are still early on in the season. Cannot tell you about the quality of this particular show as far as the studio and the voice acting and all of that. Maybe it transcends the medium, and anime is the best way to present it. But the reason why I haven't bothered to watch any of it is because I didn't really like the manga, so I am not predisposed. So I can only defend it in that it is not bad in the way that some people who don't know what it's about think it's bad based solely on the literal translation of the title and the art, especially the manga art, where it's just like the family group photo and you read the title and you translate it in your head, or you're Japanese and you just read it because you know Japanese, or you're someone that knows Japanese. You get what I mean by that. And you're just like, wait, what? But also, it's not something that I recommend you check out. Because again, I don't think it's very good. And that's always a bummer when you feel that, when some people, again, myself included, I am not preaching at you about this. I am included in this. I have defended things that I don't think are particularly good because they're being rallied against for the wrong reasons. There have been some queer anime that have had in the past couple of years that like aren't particularly great, but I want to be like, yeah, it's not good, but also it's not bad because it's not good. It's not means that all these queer stories are worthless because this one is not particularly good. Like, it's great that we're getting at the point now where we can have queer stories that we can just not engage with because there's more queer stories out there that feel authentic and are positive to watch. And the fact that there's a drama a drama, a like real people that feel real, fantastical around it, drama is being promoted by Crunchyroll. That's a good thing. It's not just all of the action, which obviously they get a lot of action in. They promote a lot of action shows. But the fact that they're going to promote anything that's not shonen, excellent. Love to see it. Love to see that. It's just that if a hullabaloo of this does blow up, if more people start talking about it, then the defense force will have to come out. And the defense force for this is that it's not bad in the way you think it is. And that's rough. And that's why I thought I wanted to talk about this. This is basically off the cuff. This is an idea that I had about last week. I was like, when I was planning out episodes of Pat Baer's Anime Club for the rest of this season, I was like, I should probably talk about TsumaSho, because I didn't talk about it in the preview because AniChart didn't list it at first, but then they did put it up. Because there was thought of like websites that cover anime that are listing don't want to deal with arguments in the comments about this show or misinformation about the show or hurt feelings about it or vigorous defenses of a thing just to defend a thing. They've dealt with that before. There's a whole thing. We talked about it previously about how AniChart and AniList didn't want to say that Scott Pilgrim was an anime, even though it's very much an anime because there was a whole argument. It's an anime. I'm not gonna rehash that and rehash my arguments, but TsumaSho. I guess my final thoughts on that we need to talk about is we do need to talk about these things. We do need to talk about the interesting place that hasn't. Would this be a bigger deal if they hadn't called it TsumaSho? I think it would. I think that title would show up in more places and more people would see it and make the wrong guess about it. And then people who aren't even going to watch it, like myself, would have to try to correct them because that's our default, is to be like, actually, it's not bad for that. It's just not very good. And maybe you're watching this video, you watch this whole thing, and you don't see what the big deal is anyway, or you like it, you like this subject matter, or this is your first time hearing about this show. Maybe you're going to check it out. I don't know. I can't stop you. I can only tell you that I don't think it's worth your time. There's some good stuff this season, and I think that I honestly think Dan to Dan, the made-up name, that is the other name that just seems strange, and you don't know what it's about based on the title, is worth more of your time, and a content warning for the first episode. But I think there's more to say about Dan to Dan than there is about TsumaSho at the end of the day. But I still felt like we needed to talk about it because it's out there and you're going to hear about it probably from somebody else, and maybe you should hear about it from me instead. And then when I do my fall wrap-up / winter preview, I will probably not delve too much into TsumaSho. because I have this video. I might just say, hey, check my channel if you want to see me talk about it in depth. That's what this video was. Thank you so much for watching it, by the way. Pat Bear's Anime Club is an ongoing video series, as I said. My next video will be my fall picks. I'll recommend 3 to 5 shows from this season that I think you should check out. I'm kind of waiting till the middle of the season these days to do that, because even like 3 episodes into a show I might have recommended, 4 episodes in, I might be on the fence about recommending it. You know what I mean? I will not be recommending TsumaSho. I don't expect to watch enough episodes of that before my next video in 2 weeks from this release. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have ideas for things you'd like to see me cover in the future, you can always leave a comment about that. If you've watched this show, if you've read this manga, if you watched the live action drama, let me know. Am I really wrong on this? Am I like really off about wanting to talk about it? I don't think I am. I don't think it's a very good show, and I think it's interesting that it got an anime adaptation that got picked up by a studio or by a company and then only sort of promoted, but promoted at all. It's weird. There's a lot of weirdness about this. I don't have all the answers. Some of my videos, if this is your first Pat Bear's Anime Club, most of my other videos are researched. This one is more of a video essay, more thoughts. But thank you so much for watching this. I will see you on the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. Goodbye.